The Season 5 Reloaded update just dropped, which means the meta has changed, so I got y'all with the new best settings that will allow you to dominate all of multiplayer and Warzone. Which, to add some credibility to my name, I do have a 4.49 KD ratio in multiplayer, and then in Warzone I think I have about a 3. Got a lot of 50 bombs over here. On the multiplayer, my highest kill streak is 157. Got about like 20 days played. I'm iridescent in ranked play. Basically, it's my job to be good at the game, so I need the best settings. That being said, I do use an Xbox Elite V2 controller. I like the paddles on the back. It allows me to have very good movement while also having very good aim, but you can also play claw, so basically you have your pointer finger on these buttons allowing you to drop shot and jump shot while still having good aim. And then if you don't want to play claw or you don't have a fancy controller, what you can do is go to your edit button layout, and then you can be adding tactical. This is going to allow you to drop shot with the right stick instead of having to click the B or the circle button. A lot of people also like the bumper jumper tactical. Allows you to jump with the bumpers rather than having to click the X or the A button on your controller. So bumper ping, this is pretty helpful in Warzone, but overall I just don't really find it too helpful, so I just have that on off. You probably want to flip your bumpers with the triggers. This is going to allow you to fire your gun a little bit faster, because instead of pulling down a trigger, you're going to be hitting the bumper, which is a button. I have trigger locks, and so the second I hit my trigger, the gun's going to fire on the game, so I don't really need to do that. Stick layout preset, just keep that on default. Controller vibration, make sure that's on off. It makes sense. Less things moving in your hand is going to lead to better aim. With Call of Duty now being on the Xbox Game Pass, there is more players than ever on the game, and we all know the COD servers are pretty horrible, so you've probably been experiencing lag, which is why I use the Hyperev router by Gear Up. Hyperev is a dual band Wi-Fi 6 router designed specifically for gaming. Along with the Gear Up Booster plugin, it speeds up the connectivity of your consoles, reduces latency, increases download speed, and decreases queue time for competitive games. Basically, it smooths and speeds everything up so you can show your true skill on the game. Hyperev router has dedicated gaming ports prioritizing any gaming device connected to it. With over 7,500 nodes and the Air technology, Hyperev is the only product that gets network prioritization every step of the way. The Hyperev router will boost your console and your PC with one click, plus it's easily controllable from your phone. Also, the gaming fencing technology will swiftly locate the nearest match within a player-centric radius, which will not only ensure that you have a stable ping, but will also rapidly increase matchmaking speeds. Plus, you can't get banned for using Gear Up, as many esport teams such as XZ use Gear Up to dominate their online matches. So if you want a better experience while gaming, click on the top link in the description or the pinned comment down below. Dead zone inputs, this is very important and not really even controller specific. Left stick min, I have a little bit of like stick drift, so I have it on 1. It makes it so my character doesn't move by himself. Left stick max, if you have it between like 45 and 75, you don't really want to go past 75. This is going to allow you to get the max movement speed a little bit faster. If you have it on 100, you have to go from 0 to 100 to get to max movement speed. Since mine's on 50, all I have to do is go from 0 to 50 to get to the max movement speed. Right stick min, I have a little bit of stick drift, and so if I have it on like 3, my controller is going to drift a bunch. Even at 5, it drifts a lot. It's just if I have it anything past 5, the game feels a little bit weird. I can't really react to my gunfights as fast, and so I really like it on there. Celium, he's a pro player for FaZe. He has it on 10, but he's like the only player that has it up there. Most players keep it around 5, even with a brand new controller. Right stick max 99. Left trigger, right trigger, just have that on 0. It's going to allow you to fire your gun very quick. The second you pull that trigger, it's going to fire the gun. Now, for the sensitivities, this isn't actually for your aim, it's for your centering. If you have a very good centering, it's going to make it easier to hit the first shot, therefore you're going to hit the rest of your shots. This is going to make it so that right down the center of your screen, wherever you think an enemy will be, you want to put that where an enemy could be. If you have it on a very high sense, your sensitivity, your centering isn't going to be as consistent. With the lower sense, it's going to be very consistent. Most of the pro players have it like on 6 and 7, so you kind of want to keep it around there. You can go into a private match, play against some bots, and just find the one that works best for you. Don't think about it too much though. You can literally get used to any sensitivity. You just want to find the one that you're most consistent with. Then for the ADS sensitivity multiplier, I like 0.85. Some players like 0.9. Again, go into a private match, play against some bots, and find the one that you're most consistent with. For me, I like 6.6 and 0.85. Now for the sensitivity multiplier, I just keep all this on 0.9. Vertical aim axis, I don't really mess with any of this. Just keep that all on standard. Tactical stance sensitivity multiplier, keep this on 0.9. You actually want to have it on, it doesn't actually let me. That's a little bit weird. Basically, I heard that you want to keep like all these the same. Like if this is on 0.9, you want to have this on 0.9. It makes it so there's a little bit less input delay. It's a little bit weird, kind of complicated to explain, but you kind of want to keep all these the same. But for my aim, I like the 0.85. I just do a little bit better, but make sure these are both on the same sensitivity so you have less input lag. I have this one on instant, off, and then target aim assist on. Well, I guess this one's personal preference. You could have that on, but I don't really like messing around with that stuff too much. And then default for the aim assist type. Some pro players do use Black Ops, but nobody uses precision precision or focusing, just keep it between Black Ops and default. Majority of players are going to like the default. Motion sensor behavior off, motion sensor enhanced settings. This stuff doesn't really matter too much, but if you do want to if you want to copy all my things, there you guys go. I apologize for the lack of good commentary. For the movement behaviors, I have mine on automatic sprint. So this is going to make it so if I'm running up to someone who's tac sprinting, I'm going to be able to bring up my gun a little bit faster. A lot of players do automatic tactical sprint, so then they don't have to hit that left stick as much, therefore it's saving their controller. For me though, I just, I play ranked play all the time, and if you have automatic tactical sprint and multiplayer ranked, you're going to get kind of shit on, so I like the automatic sprint. Slide maintain sprint on. If you have this on off, there's going to be a weird delay when you go to slide, so make sure that's on. It's completely game changing. Sprint / tactical sprint behavior toggle, auto move forward off, tactical sprint behavior single tap run, ground and mantle, airborne mantle, and ground mantle / hang, keep all these on off. It's going to allow you to be more purposeful with your mantles. Slide / dive behavior, I have mine on hybrid. You want to keep it on hybrid or slide only. Hybrid I think is going to be the best because it allows you to dolphin dive without adding delay to your slide. If you go over here and have it on tap to slide or tap to dive, then the game doesn't know if you're trying to hold the slide or holding to dive basically, and so there's going to be a little bit of a weird delay. If you put it on slide only, you're going to see the difference, but you can't dolphin dive anymore. If you have it on hybrid, you can hold the left stick, then click your slide button, and it'll allow you to dolphin dive. If you haven't ever used hybrid before, you're going to accidentally dolphin dive a bunch, but once you're used to it, it is definitely the best one, especially in Warzone. Plunging underwater free, parachute automatic behavior off, sprinting door bash on, ledge climb behavior mantle only, ADSI behavior hold, change zoom activation, sprint / tactical sprint, and then equipment behavior hold, weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee, weapon mount exit delay off, tactical stance activation, ADS plus down button, tactical stance behavior on toggle, interact / reload behavior, prioritize interact. This can be very helpful in Warzone if you're trying to loot, and then just in general like in multiplayer, instead of reloading your gun, you can sometimes pick up a gun off the ground very quickly. So if I'm in a gunfight, I run out of ammo, it's gonna take a long time to reload, so I'd rather just I'd rather grab a gun off the floor, then I can just kill the enemy with that, and I hope there's ammo in there. And so this is gonna help you out a bunch. You just have to hold the reload button now instead of tapping it, but like if you're gonna reload, you're already usually in a safe situation, so that doesn't really matter. Armor plate behavior, apply all, ADS stick swap off, backpack control directional buttons, depleted ammo weapon switch on, quick C4 detonation grouped, manual fire behavior press, akimbo behavior independent, vehicle camera recenter off, camera initial position free look, lean out activation, melee, scoreboard map stats behavior toggle, ping wheel delay off, double tap danger ping delay off, wheel behavior hold. And then I don't think I showed you guys there's one thing, it's where you want to have dynamic. It's kind of where the default is. Oh yeah, aim response curve type. Make sure this is on dynamic. That is insanely important. Some players still like standard, but 99.9% of good players have dynamic. Now that's gonna wrap it up for the controller settings. Let's go over to the graphics. So display mode, since I'm a streamer, I need to use like my other monitors a lot, like to switch music and things, and I don't want to always have to tab out, so I got the full screen borderless on there, but full screen exclusive will make it so you have absolutely zero input delay. Display monitor, personal preference, display adapter 4090, this stuff doesn't really matter too much. Aspect ratio automatic, display gamma 2.2, brightness obviously monitor specific, constrain mouse to game window off a little bit. All this is all personal preference, so you guys can go through here and kind of copy everything on this. Now for the quality settings, graphic preset obviously custom, render resolution, previous Call of Duties you would maybe do like 95 or 105, like on Vanguard I think it was 110. This game just keep it on 100. Upscale / sharpening, you want this on fidelity. This is absolutely game changing. The visibility on this game really isn't that good. This is going to make it so it's astronomically better. Most players keep it between 50 and 100, majority at 100. Path tracing plus reconstruction, ray reconstruction off. VRAM scale target, keep that on 90. Since I have so many other applications open, I have it on 80. Variable rate shading off. If your computer starts to crash because of this, like your game, then I would keep that on. Texture resolution high. This is going to make it just so everything's a little bit easier to see. Same with the texture filter anastrophic. I used to have it on low, but if you have it on high, the visibility is a little bit better, and we all know visibility on this game is really bad. Depth of field off. I don't know why this is on default on. Like a lot of players just think I have a Cronus or I'm hacking or something because my game's way more clear. It's easier to hit my shots. That's because my depth of field is on off. Detail quality level low. If we look at the two details over here, you guys can actually see when you have it on a higher quality, there's going to be more leaves. So if you have it on low, there's going to be less leaves. Therefore, you can see the enemies in the bushes. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts, you will have a little bit more FPS if you have it on off, but I'd like to see where I'm shooting if I'm doing like a class setup, looking at the recoil patterns and stuff like that. Persistent effects off, shader quality on high. If we look at the two shadows, you guys can see if you have it on high, there's less shadows. It's a little bit easier to see the enemies in those dark corners. On-demand texture streaming off, local texture streaming quality low, shadow quality very low, screen space shadows. If you want your camos to look better, make sure that's on high. Ambient occlusion off, screen space reflections. Again, if you want your camos to look good, make sure that's on high. Static reflection quality low, tessellation off, volumetric quality low. If you have it on high, there's a little bit more light and it's a little bit harder to see the enemies. Low, there's going to be less light. Deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes off, water quality off. Now we're going to be going over to the view settings. I have my field of view on 110 right now, which is probably the best, or it is the best for like Warzone. A lot of personal preference. There isn't like one singular one that every single person rocks. If you're on keyboard and mouse, you can get away with 120. The reason it's a little bit weird with controllers is that anything past 107, you start to get a little bit less aim assist, which is why you see all the pro players actually rocking 100 or 105 or 103, majority at 100. So if I'm trying to win a bunch of money in like a tournament, I'll usually get used to 100 for a little bit, but I start getting a little bit bored with that, and I play a lot of Warzone for the Warzone channel, so I have mine on 110. It's like a happy medium between the two games. ADS field of view affected, weapon field of view wide. That's just going to allow you to see a little bit more of the screen. Third person field of view 90, vehicle field of view wide, motion blur always on off. Again, a lot of players think I'm hacking because my game is more clear. I'm like, no dude, just turn off motion blur, which on default it should be like this, so then people would stop leaving dumb comments. Film grain 0, that's just going to improve visibility on the game. First person camera movement and third person, all this stuff, just copy all these things. It's just going to make it so your screen shakes a little bit less. Inverted flashbang, I have mine on just so I don't get like, you know, just blasted in the face with some white. I like the little black. Sometimes that sounds insane, but sometimes it makes it so you think your monitor turned off, so just keep that in mind that your monitor did not turn off, you just got flashed. Audio mix headphones, I do see some people at the home theater where the headphone bass boost, you kind of got to test it for yourself. When I was doing my testing with my headset, I got an Astra A40. The headphones seemed the best one. I could hear the most footsteps. Speaker output stereo system, and then you can kind of test it in there. Master game volume on 80, and then you guys can copy all these things. I don't really need the music on in the game just because I want to hear more footsteps and things like that, but in Black Ops, I think I'm going to be having the music volume on because it actually sounds so good in the Black Ops game. So Black Ops 6, I'm definitely having that on. Voice chat volume, personal preference, mine's on 50. Voice chat on, game voice channel all lobby. Last words voice chat on, proximity chat obviously on, but a lot of players don't realize they have it on. I'm playing Warzone and I hear a lot of babies in the background. Voice chat output device, default communication. Oh yeah, this is personal preference. Feel free to copy all of these things on here. If you guys do find this video helpful at all, a like is appreciated. And if you want to get the best class tips and the best settings for Black Ops 6, make sure you pre-order that subscribe button. So subtitles default, subtitle size default, subtitles background opacity 0, menu text size default, text chat size default, color customization. This is extremely important. Make sure that's on custom. Go over here, select whatever colors you want. For the enemies, I like the red, but although for this season, I'm gonna move this over to purple because the red kind of blends in. The human eye will pick up like yellow and orange first, which is why when you're driving, you see a lot of yellow signs because the human eye can pick that up first. But I feel like the yellow kind of blends in the game, so I'm gonna make mine a little bit more on the pink side of things and see how that goes. You just kind of want to keep it in these colors unless you don't really care that much. Now make sure you max out the saturation and the brightness, and then make sure you apply the custom color or else it won't save. Neutral, I have mine on white. Contested, just the yellows, and I basically went over here and just brightened up all the saturation and the brightness to make everything as bright as possible. When you have it on filter 2, that's going to make everything as well bright as possible. Color filter target on both. World color intensity and interface color intensity, keep all that on 100. And then there's another very important thing on, oh yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So HUD bounds, you want to make sure that's in as much as possible, so then when you look at the minimap, which always look at the minimap, that literally tells you where all the enemies are, because if they fire their gun without a suppressor, they are on the radar, so you're going to be looking at your minimap a lot. You don't want to have to look over as much, so it's going to make everything more towards the center. Minimap shape square, you guys can see that you can see a little bit more of your minimap on the square compared to the circle. And then minimap rotation on. Horizontal compass, I think that's a waste of things, so just have that on off. Crosshair static, this is what I was trying to think of before. This is just going to make it a little bit easier to hip fire and just everything a little bit cleaner. So static, center dot on, center dot scale, I like larger. Some players like default, some players with horrible eyes like the largest. For me, I just like larger, I can't take in that large. Okay, sorry. Hip marker visuals on, damage base hip markers on, player names abbreviated. You want to make sure you have at least the names because the dot's kind of hard to see, so then the name, it's a little bit easier easier, but then you don't want like too much unless that's helpful for you. You might want to have the clan tag on there, but for me, I like the abbreviated in-game text chat on, vehicle HUD prompts fade after 10 seconds, squad health and stamina on, telemetry custom. This is what I like to have: the FPS, the server, and the packet loss. Over here, you guys can copy all of these things, which that is gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys, pop off in season 5 reloaded, and deuces.